It's the 1980s and a mother has become fearful of her husband's violent outbursts. She is seeking advice from professionals to obtain a divorce, after which she goes missing, and the horrific events that unfold are the inspiration for this famous scene in the movie Fargo. This is the case of Helly Crafts. Helly Nielsen was born in Denmark in 1947. She moved to America and met her husband Richard Crafts in 1969. They met as they were both training in the flight industry. Richard was a pilot and Helly was training to be a flight attendant. They marry and buy a house in Connecticut. A few years later, Richard is sadly diagnosed with colon cancer, but this is when Helly begins to see the first signs of Richard's controlling and angry behaviour. Richard is undergoing chemotherapy at the time and Helly is very attentive towards him. Rather than be appreciative, Richard gets annoyed and angry with her. He survives his battle with cancer and they go on to have 3 children. Their family are very financially stable. Richard makes a 6-figure salary and this is back in the 70s and 80s. However, Richard has fallen out of love with Helly and despite being wealthy, he refuses to divorce her because he does not want to pay any alimony or child support. So to try to get Helly to leave him, he says that his cancer has come back. This is a complete lie, but he thinks that the strain of caring for him along with 3 children will force Helly to leave. The children would remain with him and therefore he wouldn't have to pay any child support. However, Helly finds out that this is a lie and she doesn't leave. Helly at this point begins to see how manipulative Richard can be and the fact that he lied about having cancer. She doesn't want to leave at this point, mainly for the children's sake. But Richard, being deeply unhappy in the marriage, begins to have multiple affairs. Helly finds out about these affairs because she discovers receipts of presents that he had been buying other women. Also at the time he is absent a lot from home, not just because of the affairs he's having, but also because he volunteers as a police officer. I think it's like a part-time police officer, so not only is he a pilot and therefore he travels away a lot, Helly is a flight attendant so she often is on trips away. He also is a part-time police officer, so they're not really spending a lot of time together. Helly gets fed up of the lies, the anger, the affairs, and therefore she hires a private investigator to get strong evidence of what Richard is doing. She wants to ensure that if she does divorce Richard, that she maintains custody of the children. Although Helly did want to build a strong case against Richard, she's also very fearful of him at this point. He is violent, he can be very angry at times, and incredibly controlling. She is fearful as to what he might do if she does decide to leave, especially if she gets custody of the children. This fear is so real and so in the forefront